Hi, in the last video we got the engine out of the car. It's now up on a stand and it's time to start looking at the engine in detail and see what we can find. Well, as you can see, I've taken the sump off. Everything's looking pretty good inside here. Nothing obviously awry. The only thing I haven't noticed, and I'm not sure whether I'm worried about this or not, but is there's some play in, or some infloat. There needs to be some infloat, obviously, but I need to measure that just to make sure it's in tolerance. I don't know if you can see that. If you look here, you can hear the click, hopefully. You can visibly see this movement, so I'm a little bit worried about that. The rest of it looks okay. So I'll measure this infloat and I'll probably whip off the centre main bearing here, cap here, just to see what the thrust washers look like. Other than that, everything looks quite good. Right, there's the dial gauge. Let's see if we can get it on here. Better. Let's pull it out, zero it up. Let's push it in. Well, it's about 0.12 of a millimetre. It's a bit hard to know whether there's any compliance in this. Let's do this up a bit. You can see this is a bit. Do it again. It's about 0.1. I imagine that's what I need to look it up. I imagine that's probably okay. But it just seems a lot when it's moving and you can hear the click. Anyway, I'll check that out, check the dimensions, see what it's supposed to Well, I'm now going to try and get the thrust washers out, see what condition they're in. Hopefully they'll push out. Need something a bit thinner than that to get down there. It's coming out this side. So get the other one out. Yeah, need something a bit longer and a bit thinner. Right, got a tie wrap. We'll cut the end off this tie wrap. Let's try that. Yep, perfect, look at that. Ooh. It's all oily and greasy, can't get a hold of it. It's all oily. I don't want to bend it, so it doesn't look very worn, but I'm going to measure it when I get it out. Come on. Oh, I've got some tweezers. I'm going to get the tweezers, see if I can get those out. Tweezers. Right, that's no good. Yeah, oh. He's coming slowly, but I need to keep. Okay. Yes. There we go. There's a little bit of wear on that. So I need to now get the other one out. Let's put this one over somewhere safe. Well, this one's a bit easier because I may have to move the crank over. Having said that, there we go. That one's not so worn. Or it's just a bit worn more evenly. I'll have to have a good old look at these. And you can see that. There's a bit of surface there. A little bit of wear. That silver looks like the original. It's like the original finish or covering on the thrust washer. I'll measure them and see what they're like. Well, both these thrust washers are standard, as you can see there. VP standard Van der Velde thrust washers. This is the front one. You can see a few wear marks, but as I said before, I think that's just wearing through the top surface. I don't think these are very old, these. They've probably been replaced at some time. And I've got the micrometer here. Let's measure them up. This is an imperial mic, so it's in inches. So what's that? 0.075 plus 17 point, so I'll say 18. So what's that? 0.093. So I looked at the tolerances and I think it's supposed to be between 0.09 and 0.093. So that's in tolerance. It's probably maybe a bit thick, but so again, I think these are probably new. These haven't been used much. They've been replaced relatively recently. So I'm going to put these back in as they are. I've measured the other one and it's the same. It's a bit more worn than this one, but not much. There's a bearing and the big end cap. Again, you can see that it's not really very worn. It hasn't really bedded in. There's marks here where obviously it's rubbed, but there you can't see because it's shining. But really, the top surface of the original bearing is not really worn off, so these are just still bedding in. So I think this engine's been worked on recently. Certainly, when I've taken it apart, it looks like it's not been together all that long. The only problem is there's an awful lot of silicone everywhere and double gaskets, like the rocker cover gasket, There's two of them, one on top of the other, and same with the sump. And then there's just silicone literally everywhere. Anyway, so I think that's pretty okay. I'm going to stick this back on with the thrust washers. I'll probably take another one off just to have a look at the other end of the crank. Probably the one up here by the flywheel. Anyway, let's put these back on. Right, now I'm going to put the thrust washers back in. Put a bit of oil on and put dog hair in there, great. Right, there's the front one. Make sure I get this in the right way round. Push the crank. There we go. Pull the crank back across. Right. I'm going to put some, I should have put some on the surface of that one already. Let's see what I can. There it is. Again. Dog hair's bloody everywhere. A bit on here. Don't want too much oil on these surfaces. It'll squeeze out bits. You never know, it's some sort of hydraulic lock on there. It's the right way around. It's that way around. You can tell by the arrows on here. Funny little arrows, but that's it. Is that sitting down? Yep. It's not quite in actually. It's a bit of whack with this. That's it. See that? See it go down. And bolts. You never know, there's always bits of stuff everywhere, aren't there? More dog hair. Bloody dog hair. There we go. That's better. Whiz those up. And then I'll get the torque wrench, torque them up. Right, torque wrench. Right, I've got the torque wrench. I've set it to 50 to start with. Just put the first light to do this. That's one. And then I'll up it to the final torque setting. There we go. Job done. I'm going to take this one off, just have a look, see what's going on in here. I'm not anticipating there being any problems, but I thought I'd just best have a look whilst I get all the engine out of the car and in bits. Right, let's see what we can find. Take these out. There you can see that. Again, it doesn't, looks pretty good, looks pretty new. Barely worn in. Again, you can see there's some shiny bits here, bits scored. But I guess that's normal. Let's have a look at this. Yeah, there's a few scores in there, but yeah, not too bad. So I think this is looking pretty good. But yeah, pretty good. Right, clean these up. Bit of crud there. Well, I'm going to get a razor blade and scrape that off. There's a few deposits on here, but I guess that's been there for a long time. I'll avoid popping the bearing out if I can. Yeah, that's fine. Don't know what that was. There we go. More bloody silicone. Look at that stuff everywhere. Put it the right way around. Bolts. There we go. Wait for the click. Right. 65. Okay. Blooming engine stand keeps moving, it's on wheels. I've pulled this I don't know what you call oil sieve off the bottom of the which draws it up, you know, on the suction tube that draws the oil up into the pump from the sump. I don't know if you can see that, but there's all sorts of crud under here. Look at that lot. And you guess what it is? Silicone. Loads of it. The whole thing's caked with it. So that's a lesson for everybody. Don't put too much silicone on your gaskets. I'll give this a good old clean up and that can go back on in a minute. Look at that. Yuck. It is, it's all bits of silicone. Nasty. Yuck. Well, that's it for today's video. What we've done, we've looked at the thrust washers, checked those for tolerance, they seem to be within tolerance. We've inspected the centre main bearing, that seems to be all okay. All these bearings seem to be relatively new or not used much. We've had the end cap off the rear main bearing, again that looks okay. And obviously the main aim of the exercise was to get this water pump, this housing off from the water pump. So next time we'll look at replacing this water pump. Thank you for watching, and if you enjoyed it, please subscribe.